this is happening, you guys. We're bringing favorites back. I'm so excited. Hi guys, this is going to be a January 2020 favorites video. I'm not just going to talk about beauty. I do have a good amount of that, but I'm also going to talk about some miscellaneous things such as tech, stationery, and even a TV show. I used to do these favorites videos pretty regularly way back when. I took a break from them. Now with the start of the new year, I just realized I really miss just sitting down and talking to you guys at the end of the month, or in this case, the beginning of the new month, and just sharing things that I have enjoyed using and just talking about life. Also, before we go any further in the video, I would like to bring some attention to my t-shirt, because you guys can see a really small portion of it. It basically says, when all else fails. How do I show this to you guys? Hug a cat. Can you see this? Is this awkward? It's one of my favorite t-shirts ever. I have 4 cats, so it's not hard to get one to hug whenever I'm feeling down. So pretty surprisingly, I think I have a lot of favorites to share with you guys this month. So we're going to talk about them right now. If you would like more details and links and all of that good stuff, just click show more below this video, and in the description bar, everything will be linked and listed. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get started. So my one makeup favorite for the month is this new foundation by Lakme. It's the 9 to 5 Primer Plus Matte Perfect Cover foundation. I already have a full video review on this product out, including swatches of all 16 shades. I really like the way this foundation looks on my face. I hate the packaging, but once I put this on, it's a good color match. It sits on the skin so beautifully. It just really gives pretty decent coverage as well, because my skin is not clear at all. I do get acne and I do have scars and stuff, but I really like how this looks on my face. I haven't actually put any concealer or anything else. The finish is matte, and since it's winter, my skin is normal to dry, and I wanted a little bit of like a natural glow, not the type that highlighter gives. So while I was applying this on my face, I just also dotted some gel moisturizer on my face at the same time. I had already moisturized before this and put serum, so this moisturizer just sheared out the foundation a little bit, and I feel like it gave my skin this little bit of glow. This is just a really good formula, and I talked about it in the review video as well. I went in not expecting to like it, and I don't like it. I actually love it. On to skincare, I have 4 items to share. The first of which is this luxury face serum from Guerlain. It's the Abel Royale Youth Watery Oil. So this is actually a product I've had for a little while, but as it happens, sometimes I kind of forgot about it, and then I rediscovered it in my stash and I tried it out and I was in love. This is such a beautiful serum, like aesthetically, you guys. Just look at this glass bottle, and Abel literally means bees in French. So it's got the bee logo here, it's got it here, and the serum looks clear, but just before you use it, you are supposed to give it a good shake, because it has these beads at the bottom that are supposed to come in your hand. As soon as you apply it on your face, these beads just like burst or dissolve or whatever. The fragrance of the serum is also just so good, and it's a little hypocritical of me to praise fragrance in a skincare product, because I've been talking about how I want to use fragrance-free skincare all of the time, but using this is just like a sensorial experience. And I started out using this one at night, then I realized like how good the formula is. I stopped using it at night because I wanted to keep it to use it during the daytime. It's very lightweight, and when you just apply it on your face, it's got that very slightly oily feeling, but within 3 to 4 minutes it completely absorbs in, leaving no extra shine or no extra residue, just making your skin feel amazing. Using this product just feels like an absolute treat for the senses, and it sits beautifully under makeup, which is why it's become my preferred daytime serum. Next up, I have a cleansing balm from Pond's. This is the cold cream cleansing balm that melts makeup and moisturizes skin. I received this last year as a gift. Unfortunately, it's not available in India. This is a US product. This is pretty much my first time using a cleansing balm, because somehow I feel like, being oily skinned, I had like a mental block towards cleansing balms. I find them a little bit greasy. I find them to be an unnecessary step, and that's why I've never given it a proper try before. But earlier this month I was using some liquid lipsticks that had like this really long wearing formula, so much so that they were giving me teensy bit of trouble to come off. That's when I resorted to using this balm for the first time, and I fell in love with how it feels. You just need the littlest bit and you spread it on your skin. It breaks down all of the makeup. I wash my face with slightly warm water. All of the makeup completely melts away and I'm left with just really nice hydrated skin that does not feel dry. So most of the time, since I have acne prone skin, I'll still go in with another step of face wash after that. But if I'm feeling really lazy, this step is actually enough. And if you don't have acne prone skin, I don't think you need to double cleanse. I just usually do it to be safe. It does have a fragrance which is just kind of similar to the Pond's Cold Cream fragrance, but it's a wash away product, so I don't think the presence of fragrance is a very big deal. I still don't use this all of the time, but any day that I feel that I have slightly heavier makeup on or waterproof makeup, this is just the best to help me take it off and still leave my skin feeling happy. I've been quite open with the fact that I struggle a little bit with acne, breakouts, pimples, hormonal stuff. I think in the last 2 or 3 years is when I've struggled the most. Before that, I even went back on my YouTube channel only, and there are videos like Get Ready With Me and vlogs where I have completely clear, literally flawless skin with no active acne or breakouts or no marks either. So somewhere along the way, sometimes our skin just decides to throw a curveball at us. Also, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I have wanted to try and resolve my acne without medical intervention. And I don't really want to use steroid creams, I don't really want to use antibiotics, so I want to try to improve my skin by skincare, by lifestyle changes in a sort of a more holistic way. So in the last month and a half to 2 months, I have seen a noticeable improvement in my skin. I've not really made any drastic changes to my skincare, but if I had to pick, I would attribute it to the next 2 products that I'm going to talk about. The first thing is a face wash from Cheryl's Cosmeceuticals. This is actually an Indian brand, and as the name suggests, Cosmeceuticals. So it is a brand that is a mix of like cosmetic but also medical grade stuff. This is the Derma Cleanse face wash, and this is supposed to be an anti-germ face wash that regulates sebum and blackheads, restoring balance to acne prone skin. This does have a lot of really nice ingredients in it, and I've been using it for a while now. I still have some use in it because you need very little of the product each time, so it does last quite a while. So I've used acne targeted skincare from different brands in the past and often not really seen any changes. So even when I started using this, I wasn't really expecting much, and I did not see any magical changes from the first time using it or the first week also, because I think that when it comes to problems like acne and all, skincare does take time to actually start working. Over time, I have seen an improvement. My skin is really happy with it, and I also love that it's actually pretty affordable, so I would definitely recommend it. And the next product is from The Ordinary. It is the azelaic acid suspension 10%. This is actually my second product from The Ordinary, which is a cult skincare brand. I used their niacinamide before this. Even after I used up the whole bottle, I didn't really see any kind of noticeable change. So I was like, okay. And then I decided to try out the azelaic acid suspension. I've read a lot of good things about azelaic acid as an ingredient because it's supposed to just be so good. It benefits all skin types and helps with regulating your pore size and your sebum production. And if you have blackheads, whiteheads, stuff like that, it also improves that. If you suffer from redness, even using this will target that problem. This is another one of those things that is not going to work overnight. In fact, they themselves say that you should be using it for about 6 weeks before you start noticing any kind of change. And it's just a suspension in a silicone base. It's not really a moisturizer or anything, so you should continue using your serum, you should continue using your moisturizer, and this is like a booster product that you can add to your routine. My pores have been behaving better. They are less clogged and less bumpy, and even the hormonal breakouts that I've got, they are less in number and they're less inflamed, painful and angry. Since it has a silicone base, if you use it in the day, it would actually serve the purpose of a primer as well, but you need to use very little of it. Since it's silicone based, if you go for a heavy handed application, then there's a good chance the product will pile on you, which basically means when you touch your skin and the product is just like rolling around, like it bunches up and comes off on your fingers. That is something to keep in mind. I'm almost at the end of my first tube, but I do have another one. The Ordinary skincare is unfortunately not so easy to get in India, but Paula's Choice recently launched in India, and they too have an azelaic acid product that also has salicylic acid in it. I have it, but I have not tried it yet. I'm just putting it out there because if you wanted to try azelaic acid as an ingredient and you live in India, the Paula's Choice one is more accessible now. Now we're finished with the beauty segment of this video and we're moving on to tech. So I have one tech accessory that I got in January that I've been so obsessed with, and it's an external hard drive. You might think, why am I gushing over an external hard drive? But you guys, this is a 1 TB external hard drive and I want you to look at it. This is what it looks like. This is how big it is. It's also like the lightest thing in the world. It's so light. This is the Seagate SSD. If you don't know what an SSD is, I'm gonna give you guys like a really quick explanation. So there are usually like two types of hard disks. There are internal hard disks and external hard disks. If you own a computer, be it a laptop or a desktop, you will have a hard disk in it. It is basically the brain of your computer. All of the data of your computer is stored in there. So old school hard disks, HDDs, basically had a spinning drive inside, and even if you have an external hard disk, when it's connected to your computer, you can usually hear and feel it spinning. But since a few years now, there have been like a new generation of hard disks, both internal and external, called SSD, which stands for solid state drive. And the main difference in these drives is that there's no spinning element. So they are so much smaller, they are so much lighter, and they're also so much faster. It just blows my mind how small it is, how light it is, and also when you use it, it's just so much quicker. The sync and transfers just happen so much faster, and it's so easy to literally carry this in your wallet or anything. If you do photography or videos, YouTube, you'll probably have some idea of how big files usually are and how much of storage we need to keep and manage things. Having this has made my life so much easier. So SSDs are still slightly more expensive than traditional hard drives. You're paying more, but you're getting absolutely insane performance. It's just so crazy how much easier this is to carry around because of how small and light it is and how much better it works. There are some pretty good discounts running on this online right now, and they also have a 500 GB version, which is half the storage of this, but there are some beautiful prints on it that I'm kind of considering getting one of those because of how cool it looks. So now I'm going to talk about a couple of stationery items that I've liked. We're already into the second month of the year, and these are New Year 2020 themed, but I think they're worth talking about anyway. I have this planner here, which I feel kind of matches everything I'm wearing so perfectly today with the pink and orange. This is the best is yet to come. Spiral bound planner from Odd Giraffe, and I think this is my third year in a row having an Odd Giraffe planner. It's my first time getting a spiral bound planner, which I really like. So if you're someone that carries your planner with you everywhere, this might make it a little bit more bulky, but since I usually have it at home only, I just really like how it feels. And if you are the type of person that like fully likes to open up your planner and hold it like this, then it's much easier with spiral bound, because with traditional binding I tend to do that and I always loosen up the binding. I love how every month has like these really cute bright places, and there's enough space to write like your appointments and everything that you need. I also love that every month has this like goal digger page, which has like spaces for things you're grateful for, skills, goals for the month, and stuff like that. In the year 2020, everything's digital. We all have smartphones, which all have really competent apps, and there isn't so much of like a need to have a physical planner, but I find that having one helps me be slightly more organized, and I don't know, it's a good feeling, and I like being able to look back at previous months also. And there's something about actually writing with a pen to paper that having digital notes is not really going to compare. The best is yet to come is a really good message for me this year because of some plans that I have that I will have to work harder on for the earlier part of the year, and it's not going to be easy, and I'm kind of intimidated by these plans, but if I follow through and do them, then I will be rewarded towards the later part of the year. So I think this message just kind of helps me focus on that. Shout out to this adorable pen from Bic that I've had for a while now. I just love this pen. It's 4 colors and all of the 4 colors are so cute. There's green, light blue, pink and purple. I just usually snap it on the spiral binding, and I really like just writing different things in the planner with different colors and having all of the colors in the same pen. Just the best. The next item of stationery is this beautiful desk calendar by Nori Art. This is the Zodiac Calendar 2020. It's been a while since I've actually kept a desk calendar, I have to admit, but the art on this is just so beautiful. This is the January art for Capricorn. February, is this Aquarius? I think it is. I have to brush up. March is Pisces. And April, of course, my favorite, the Ram, Aries. Now that we're talking about it, I do feel like a typical Aries, and everything I've ever read about an Aries hits very close to home. At this point, I'm also really curious to know what your zodiac is, so I'd love it if you would leave a comment and let me know if you identify with the characteristics and traits associated with your sun sign or not. All of these beautiful art pieces of the zodiac are illustrated by Nori, and they're printed on this gorgeous textured paper. Just looking at it makes me really happy. I obviously work at home, but I feel like even if you work in an office, a desk calendar is such a beautiful way to brighten up and personalize your desk or cubicle or workspace. Look at this lion though, guys. Look at how beautiful it looks. I have admired Nori's art for a really long time, so having like this physical copy of it just feels really nice. And for my last favorite of January, I have a TV show, and when I recommend TV shows, I tend to go and share slightly more obscure ones, but this one is just super mainstream, and I'm going to talk about The Office right now. I resisted The Office for so long because I first gave it a try about 3 or 4 years ago, and I couldn't get through the first episode. Like, it's so horrible and so cringy and unfunny that I just got disgusted and abandoned it. And since then, I have talked to a lot of people who were fans of The Office, and they told me like the first episode is really difficult to watch. The first season on the whole is really difficult to watch, but it gets a lot better from the second season onwards. And even armed with that knowledge, I resisted actually giving Office a serious try again for the longest time. But finally, the end of 2019, I had exhausted most of my regular shows and I didn't have anything to watch. So rather than rewatch Psych or Scrubs for the millionth time, I said, let me give The Office a try. I got through the first season, which is bad. Like, yeah, I got through the second season, the third season, and like slowly I realized like I'm really enjoying this show. I'm really enjoying the characters. What they did with the American Office, which is of course like adapted from the British version, was just something really different, like the mockumentary style and all that. Like, I watched Parks and Recreation that came after. Watching The Office is fun, and slowly like you kind of fall in love with the quirks of all of the characters. I am now like right at the end of season 7, and I've gone like so deep into the show and to the fandom, and I'm reading articles and I'm watching these like 20-minute video essays on YouTube that go really deep into the characters and the writing and all of that. Suffice to say, I am definitely a fan now. So if some of you guys have watched The Office and are fans, we can totally like bond over it now. And for the rest of y'all who have not watched The Office, maybe some of y'all are in the same boat that I was in, thinking, oh my god, like this is really cringy and hard to watch. I assure you, it does get better, and it is worth powering through that first season because the show afterwards gets so good. I do enjoy sitting down and sharing these favorites with you guys. January was a bit of a mixed month after all. We did have nice weather, so that was great, but also on the personal front, like there were some parts that were really scary and sad and challenging for me. There were days when I was feeling like really low, and there were days when I cried so much, and I think it's fine to go through these feelings sometimes. These emotions are valid, but I think I got out of the month with a better attitude and a good resolve that even though like those problems may not yet be solved, whatever they are, I can face them head on. Couple of other good things. We hit 16,000 subscribers on this channel, so thank you so much. Yay for all of us. We are growing as a family, slowly but steadily, and you guys make me very happy. I also ate so much of benebalm in January. Had to kind of make a mention of that. It is this South Indian dish that's kind of like a khichdi. It's rice, dal, vegetables, and it's pure comfort food, and I don't cook it at home. I am a reasonably okay cook. I usually get takeout of this, and it's so good. I just got some takeout yesterday, so I still have some benebalm in my fridge, and you guys know that I am gonna go and eat it as soon as I wrap up. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.